Hi, my name is Katie. Welcome to my presentation on the Intimacy of Textiles. I'm a multimedia artist studying with the Open College of Art. In this presentation, I want to look at how textiles have touched my life. From a very young age, I was creating through textiles, making clothes for my Cindy dolls from recycling sleeves from my old dresses, sewing dreadful ties and scarves as presents for my family, which nobody would ever want to wear. My mum was extremely influential on my love of textiles. She taught me to knit, sew, draw and paint, and was very encouraging over my efforts. Above all, she was the person who made my beautiful party dresses, which I was so proud to wear. I really enjoyed my art foundation course in Bradford, which immersed me in different art forms. This painting is from around that time and has a very patterned textural look. It shows my love of colour and my influences of David Hockney, Raoul Dufy and Vincent van Gogh. But however much I wanted to create, I realised I must also learn a living, and therefore became involved in reprographics and packaging for over 20 years. This work often meant overtime and shift work. So yes, work did get in the way of my creativity. In 2009, the death of my brother led me to reassess my own life. I wanted to do something more than just work. In the words of Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you may miss it. I wanted to channel my passions into something I loved, and that something was art. A friend suggested enrolling on a felt making course. Felt is a very immersive art form and takes quite a lot of concentration, which really helped with my mindfulness. I loved it. I helped to found the local felt making group and found many supportive friends in this arena. Over the months, I felt that I wanted to create my own work rather than solely attend workshops. At the Knitting and Stitching show in Harrogate, I had the opportunity to talk to people from the Open College of Arts, and in a few weeks later, took a bold step of signing up for a distance learning degree in textiles. Shortly after signing up for the course, unfortunately, my health took a nosedive. I was physically and mentally shattered. I had started the menopause. However, in the midst of all this, my creative work started to take on new meanings. I entered a competition entitled Positive Emotions. My work had been very detached up to this point, and then all of a sudden I started to look about how to visually create a range of emotions through colour and touch. I made this twizzle skirt for my mother who had been suffering from dementia. I researched into how dementia patients can be soothed by touch and visual stimulus. Sadly, Mum didn't get long to play with the skirt, as she died 4 months after I finished it. Mum had given me the gift of loving to create. It was important for me to channel this in a way that would be cathartic for me. I started to use my sketchbooks as visual and written diary of my menopause symptoms. The intimacy of my thoughts and feelings led me to create much more personal work. Through the sketchbooks, I was able to select visual images to represent my symptoms and then work them up into samples and finished pieces. One of the most debilitating symptoms was anxiety. By opening up to myself through art, I also started to talk to others about how I was feeling. I drew images onto open weave fabrics like muslin and light coloured cotton to create fragility in my work, building up layers so I could rip and tear into them, revealing the physical heat of the night sweat, using recycled fabrics and dyeing to create correct colour schemes. Women have been communicating through stitching throughout the centuries. Many quilts have been created for births, marriages, or deaths. I chose to gather my images together in one place and created this coverlet to give a bigger impact to my work. The subject of the menopause is too important not to discuss, and I want to continue creating visual stimulus to engage and promote discussion on the topic. This is a topic, after all, which affects half the population. Inspired by Monk, my image of the silent screen represents the struggle women endure at this time of their lives. The angst of the face of this woman conveys frustration and at times loneliness. It is no surprise that a lot of women feel unable to manage to work at this time. By linking my work with embroidery and applique on domestic items, there is a connection with human life. I have dyed and printed garments ready to build a narrative in layers of fabric. I like using recycled fabrics as these have their own stories unique to themselves, just like every person. I have become more confident in my work, allowing me to stretch boundaries. The softness of the stitch creates subtlety for images which are more difficult to view in other mediums. I also want to reflect the positive aspect beyond the menopause for women to lead their lives with confidence and enjoyment. The intimacy of textiles has run a thread through my life and right now is of great importance to my work and where I am going in the future. I am passionate to use the art form in this way, to discuss interesting topics which are close to my heart. And many thanks for listening.